Hello YouTubers, Greg Jones here, 1623 Custom Harmonicas, and have a very interesting Seydel session steel here for you today. This is a special high G, as in golf, harmonica, and it's what I call shift tuning. So I'd like to explain a little bit of that to you, and then give a brief demonstration. But many times we've all been there. And at a jam, an acoustic setting, around with friends, and they call out a song in the key of D, possibly a country song, maybe Margaritaville, or some of those others that are in the key of D as in dog, and we want to play in cross harp. So we pull out our G naturally, and I have mine here. And what we find is that when we do that, we're in kind of a low range, and that pitch range that we're in is right where the guitar is at. And even if it's lower, it's hard to get up and out and to be heard. In fact, many times we can't even really hear ourselves. And I call that playing by braille, where we're just kind of fumbling around because we can't really get up and out over the band on our leads. And so we know what that situation is like, and the harmonica companies have in years past produced a high G. It's a high G pitched harmonica that's of course one whole step above an F. They can be somewhat piercing, but they can also have a really nice sound in certain musical contexts, especially in a country context or a bluegrass setting. The problem with the high G harmonicas is that in that frequency range, they are exceeding the usable range for each slot length. So without getting too much into the physics of it, these harmonicas in the high G range are going to be prone to more problems than harmonicas in the more conventional ranges. And so some harmonica companies have discontinued making high Gs. Some of them, because of problems, they just didn't sell, and for a variety of other reasons, they're not as available. Seydel still manufactures a high G and a high A harmonica, but they're in the brass reed. They're not available in stainless. So what I've done here is gone back and used an old concept, one that was used probably 100 years ago by harmonica companies, and that's essentially what I like to call a shift. So what I've done is chopped off note 10 of a standard Richter tune, style tuned harmonica, and I've put that note a few octaves below on hole number 1, and so then we start the standard Richter style tuning, what we call informally as Richter, on hole 2 instead of on hole 1. So this is a lot more simple than it sounds. The player just has to realize that he's got a standard Richter style tuned harmonica that begins on hole 2 instead of hole number 1. Hole number 1 in this case is a D, which is your root for second position. So there's nothing wrong with that note. In fact, there are several notes in that range on hole 1 that are actually usable. And into this configuration, you get 3 full octaves of second position play. So anyhow, I want to demonstrate a little bit of that, as complex as it sounds, and maybe I'm not doing a real good job of explaining that. But if we just start off with a standard G, I have an 1847, one of my personal ones. So we kind of know what that sounds like. And so then we go an octave up, and we have essentially so that which would represent hole number 1 is actually hole 2, and then we go down to hole number 1. Which is a D on the blow side. So I want to give you kind of a little bit of an example of what this sounds like over the band, over a little of a basic backing track, just to kind of give you an idea of what the possibilities are. This is a stainless steel shift high G tuning. So once again, all stainless steel reeds, session steel. The root is on hole 1. Which is an octave lower than what a standard hole 3 would be on a G harmonica, and your standard Richter style tuning begins on hole 2. And so once again, I'll probably confuse you a little bit, but we'll just give you an example. And as confusing as this may be, I think if you give it a try, you'll see that it's a very simple thing to master. So there you have it. This is a high G shift tuning. Standard Richter style tuning starts on hole 2. Hole 1 gives you the notes. The blow gives you the root of second position, so you get a full 3 octaves of play. And the only thing you really lose here is hole 10. So I encourage you to give it a try. This is available through me, 1623 Custom Harmonicas. And if you have any questions, comments, smart remarks, I encourage you to post those or to email me. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm Greg Jones, 1623 Custom Harmonicas.